So I leveled up to level 39 years old, and with that came a couple of cool unlocks. So first one is this beautiful Aero TT helmet from Prolome, the Prolome PL01. Thanks for them for sending that out to me. It is absolutely stunning in terms of its color, but most importantly, it's much more aero than my road helmet, which I used for my last ITT event. And I think we're going to be able to achieve a nice position and get a good shoulder roll off. Of course, you can't really know these things until you test out a lot of different helmets or go do some like aero testing. But I don't have access to that type of equipment yet. Maybe someday in the future, I would love to have some like aero testing equipment and actually like come and run a lot of different tests and stuff, or do that for my athletes that I coach. That would be really awesome. So it's something I'm looking into the more I get into TT, not triathlon.
So the next to unlock was these awesome bibs from LAMEDA, the Heart Feather bib. And they've got this fancy Italian name chamois in there. I guess it comes from Italy. But I wasn't too sure about the chamois when I first received it because it's a lot thicker and more well padded than what I'm used to, and it goes more towards the sides and the front. However, with TT bike, that is like right where you're putting a lot of pressure, and so this has been really great for riding the TT bike, but also my road bike, because I tend to sit in a more aero aggressive position on my aero bike as well. And I like to pair that with the LAMEDA Pro jersey for these hot and humid summer days. I think also this combination just looks really, really nice and clean. And you guys can unlock this as well using the code BONK15, which gives you 15% off your next order from LAMEDA.
But the next really big unlock, and this is going to be a game changer for me going into the UCI Worlds ITT in August in Japan, is this Pardus Gomera Ultra. So I bought this with my own money, and I'll explain to you guys why in this video, why I bought this, what this bike is, because there's not much information about this on either the Chinese or the international social medias. So first off, Pardus is a Chinese brand. That's probably why it hasn't made its way into a lot of the international social medias quite yet. However, the new Gomera RS is an absolutely stunning bike and is being sold internationally. I caught a glimpse of it, just a little glimpse, at the UCI Hangzhou ITT. It zipped past me. Of course, the bike is not the fastest component of an ITT event. It's the rider and the position. But yeah, nice looking bike, fast bike. This is the version prior to that. So this version is probably from 2020 onwards. It comes with triathlon bars. I'm going to be switching this for aero bars. And it came with a 105 mechanical Shimano. I'm going to be switching that out for SRAM blips and putting a SRAM either rival or force rear derailleur only back here with a 12-speed Shimano system. It's just more efficient than the SRAM flat top. Also, I already changed the the front derailleur off and went with a 1x setup. So this is a 1x chainring from Stone. It is compatible with 9, 10, 11, and 12 speed Shimano. They make them for SRAM as well. And one cool thing about this is it has wide, narrow tooth, so it helps the chain stay on even when it's bouncing around. I also decided to go with the Stone cranks. These are 155 millimeter, which is the same length that I use for my road bike, so I wanted to keep that the same. And I'm using the same power meter pedals. I'm just swapping them between my road bike and my TT bike, so there's no difference between power, and I never have that question of like, oh, is one power meter reading higher or lower than the other? Same power meter on both bikes. So we still have the toolbox on here, water bottles. Those will be gone. We'll be able to get rid of this other cable here, so it'll be maybe a little bit more aero. Maybe that doesn't actually see any of the wind anyway. We won't be able to remove some of these brake cables though. That's just going to be what it is. It is what it is with those. Right now this has mechanical disc. Now I knew that these things existed. I'd never seen them in the wild, and now I've experienced them. there's no way in hell I would ever use mechanical disc for a road bike going down a mountain. That'd be the scariest thing ever. All of you who are out there who have it and are doing it and love it, like, good on you, but no thank you. After braking with it today, it's perfect for a flat, ride. I've had no problems braking. I like the modulation on it. But if you want to stop quick, you don't have that hydraulic. You really have to yank the cable. And that's fine with me. This works perfectly fine for what my setup is. Now, this came with a full disc, the original disc, I believe, from Pardis, and a tri-spoke. I don't think this is what originally came with the bike. I have no clue what brand that is. It's probably some unknown Chinese brand. It's fast. It's really windy today. You're not going to see it here because I'm surrounded by forest, but the main road I was being blown all over the place. For my first time on a TT bike, that was quite an experience. Now, currently, as I have this set up, it is UCI illegal. And that's because for a class 1 rider, being a rider who's under 180 centimeters, I'm 170 centimeters tall, you have two options. If you have your nose of your saddle less than 5 centimeters back from the bottom bracket, then the nose to the saddle to the farthest extension, which I believe is counted the mechanical shifter, can't be longer than 750 millimeters. And if you comply to the 5 centimeters back, then it can be 800 millimeters. But either way that I do it right now, I can't get within that range. So that's partially why I'm going to the electronic blips, is so that I can actually be legal. I don't mind shifting with the mechanical shifter. It's snappy, it's engaged as well. It doesn't take like a lot of excess energy really to like move it or anything like that. But with the UCI, and you can only be from the center of the pad 100 millimeter above, and they count like this point here as part of the above, so it's not here, it's up here. That just really throws off kind of everything. And the same thing, it's the furthest extension point of where they measure from, so it just adds a whole lot of length and height that you're not using and getting any benefit from, but it makes it so that you have to change your whole bike setup. So yeah, that's the main reason that I'm actually switching to electronic. I was perfectly happy sticking with mechanical, but yeah, unfortunately UCI has jurisdiction where I'm going. It's their race, so I got to comply by their rules. I've already taped up the bottle hole cages. Most of the TT events I'm doing are 17 to 20 kilometers. That's what the Hangzhou was. It was 22, 21, and the Worlds is going to be like 17, 18. So I don't need to drink water in that short period of a time. So currently these are 25 millimeters wide, and that's the most aero that fits on these wheels. Maybe at some point we'll be able to change that. I think there's room to maybe go to like a 28 or so on there, maybe a little bit wider, but probably won't go too much more than 28 on these guys. And we are currently sitting at 9.34 kilograms. So she's a bit chunky, but that's okay. That's okay with me because I am going to be doing mostly flat TTs, some little rolling, and of course, obviously if I was 1.5 kilos lighter on the bike, like, that's helpful. But it's kind of relieving in some regards, because with my road setup, I'm always like, every gram, trying to get the bike weight down. And with this, I don't have to be so much worried about every gram. It's more about, CDA and trying to hide as much as you can from the wind and get into the correct position. And that's a little bit of a relief. It's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down, but like these stone cranks, right? So these guys are 155. There's not a lot of options out there for 155 that are really lightweight. The Hudud cranks that I use on my road bike are that, but they cost like 2 times more than what these cost. And yeah, they're super lightweight, but they also are a little flexy as well. These are heavy and solid and what I need. And that's exactly what I was looking for when it came to this bike. And one of the really fun things is that there's a lot of these like smaller brands, especially in China. There are a couple international as well, but especially in China, there's a lot of like individuals, like 3D printing stuff, and just smaller brands. You can get really cheap products that are aerodynamic for like TT, and you can try a lot of stuff out. So you don't have to spend like thousands and thousands of dollars on something that's like just this little bit of extra gain in aerodynamics. You can spend like $20 to $100 for the same thing. And so I don't know, it's just really fun. It makes you almost want to get your own 3D printer and start like printing stuff for your bike. I nerd out and geek out over that stuff. I don't know, you know, it is what it is. But I'm really looking forward to establishing a position on this bike, trying out, try to put my FTP on kind of some longer trainings. Right now, the position that this guy is in, I can't hold that for very long. The front end needs to come up a little bit more. I brought it down on the trainer the other night trying to like find my position, and I found that this looked a lot more aero to me, but I didn't like sit on it for 20 minutes at my FTP. And that's another thing, is right now it's just not set up for me. The seat tube actually is like all the way down, touching, and I need to come down even further, like another like 10 millimeters, maybe even 15 millimeters. So it's too high right now for me. So position wise, I'm all over the place at the moment. But that's why we do these things as early as we possibly can before our events. Obviously, this is not ideal. I should have had this like back in January for the whole season to be trying and testing and preparing for. But circumstances are what they are. I didn't think I was going to get a TT bike at all this year, and here we are. And part of the reason why I was able to get this is it was dirt cheap, guys. I bought this secondhand. Obviously, it's from 2020. But the owner owns a XDS bike shop. He did some triathlons with it, and I mean, it's just meticulously like taken care of. I mean, every part of it pretty much looked exactly brand new. So he took really good care of it. Really nice guy. We went there and he was like, "Oh, how are you getting from Beijing back up to Yinxing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go take the train. I brought the bag to put the bike in and everything." And he was like, No. I'm gonna order you a hula all the way back." So like, yeah, we got a hula all the way back. He paid for, and we got a great price on the bike. You know, we didn't haggle him down as much as we maybe should have, but this is already such a good price for this bike. I was looking between this or an older Giant Trinity, and I'm glad I went with this. The Trinities are a little bit bigger of a bike, and I'm a smaller of a person. Even their small size is a little on the big side for me. And of course, what is the correct number of bikes? It is N+1. So I get this, and now my wife is like, "You know, I think I want to try TT too." Yeah, so there we go, guys. If you have any questions about the Partis Gomera Ultra, let me know in the comments. You know, there's a lot that I don't know about this bike yet, so if you ask questions, it'll be a great reason for me to investigate and find some more things out about this bike. Yeah, and stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing probably a whole video series about establishing my TT position, doing some training specific for TT, and what that's going to look like based on where I am as a rider currently. And yeah, I think we're about to get a rainstorm here, so I'm going to let you guys go so that I can get home and not get rained on, because the one thing with this bike is yeah, you got a big freaking hole right there, because nothing's integrated and there's not really a way to integrate everything. So you know, some of that's just like, it is what it is, you know. It doesn't really bother me. I know some of that stuff really bothers a lot of people. I'm just happy to go ride my bike, guys. So I'm really looking forward to this training. I'll catch you guys in the next one.